Happy New Year, Vengeance. Hey, what's up, Vamp? How you guys doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you also. Happy New Year to you, Caleb. I'll wait till everyone gets here and then I'll reveal what's going on in the background. I'm sure some of you guys could already tell. But how was your New Year's? Yeah, Happy New Year's to you too, James. Hello, Jackie. You doing all right? I'm doing all right. Bit stressed out. Bit stressed out right now, and I'll tell you guys why when a few more people show up. But it could be better. I'm a little angry right now, but I'll tell you guys why. But I hope you guys are doing great. Doing good. A little stressful. Happy New Year, Night of Slayer. Yes. Don't worry, Jackie. I have something like that already planned. It's top 10 Super NES games. I already have that ready to go. I just need to film it. But something's happened in my life that's kind of made things a little bit harder. Calm down. Take a breath. Take a breath. Well, once I tell you what exactly happened. Oh, dear. Yeah, I'll tell you what's been happening. Yeah, a couple more people show up. But the heck, I got my water. So I have it in my throat. Yeah. Okay. Here it goes. Okay. As you guys can see, all of this, these are the collector's editions that I just finished filming. Like, not even joking. I've been filming it for like the last 2 hours. And the only reason I couldn't do it earlier was because I woke up at 10, because I got home at 3. So I got 7 hours of sleep. Then I take it back. I got home at 3, went to bed, woke up at 9, had to go to Best Buy, then Target, to a Walmart in order to buy a new tripod, because I remembered I don't have my tripod from my old place, so I had to buy a brand new one in order to film, because I couldn't film the collection edition video from the primary angle that I film my videos at. So literally, I just bought this tripod today, and then I had to try to start filming the collection editions, but I ended up having a hell of a lot more than I had the first time I did it, because literally the first time I did it was actually my very, very first YouTube video. So I had a lot less back then than I do now. So I had to go through my closet, had to pull a lot of them out. First I was doing it 1 at a time, then I was doing it 5 at a time, and then it got to the point where it was taking so long, so that's why I couldn't start the stream at 3, so I had to start the stream at 3:30, and then I just said, screw it, we're just gonna bring up all the big ones, bring them out, surround us with them, and then we go through them a few times. And I think 2 or 3 of them, the primary box that had the statue or the figure in them was stuck in the box, so I couldn't get them out. So when I edit this video, I'm gonna have to just post the primary picture that shows everything in the collection edition. And yeah, guys, that was literally like 5 minutes before I started. Like, that's when I finished it. So this video is gonna be exceptionally long. I don't think, presenting wise, it's gonna be very impressive, because I don't have a really good setup. Backgrounds was real bad, and on top of that, I actually started filming it like 2 hours ago. Yeah, I'm not seeing your guys' questions. I'm just gotta rant real quick. We had plenty of sunlight, and then out of nowhere it started to rain. We still have overcast, so then I had to go into my garage, which we have a garage, and grab a filming light that I haven't used in 5 years. Surprisingly, it still works, and that's why the lighting changed during the video. And then, yeah, and on top of that, at my primary job, we just fired the newest mechanic because it just didn't work out, which messes up my entire work schedule. So I now, for 3 days, I'm only gonna get, instead of getting 6 hours of sleep, I'm only gonna get maybe 4 to 3 hours of sleep, and then have to work back-to-back 8-hour shifts. On top of that, I now have lost my only off day, which is a Wednesday, which was today. So instead of having the whole day off, I'm gonna have to come in and work at 10, work 10 to 2 in the morning. And then tomorrow I gotta work Thursday, one job only. So right now I'm in a life spot where I literally have no days off. I am working every single day because the newest mechanic just messed up. So it's gonna be this until we hire a new mechanic, and then my schedule can be reduced and go back to where it should be to make things a lot easier, and I have time to play things. On top of that, I have a move that I need to start planning for in May or April, but I gotta give out my lease in March. So I have January, February, and then March. And I gotta figure out how to do things till then. So like a lot of things are happening. Like right now. Like lighting wise, it's really bad. Which is why I got this light here, which is good. I'm thinking maybe I'll get a second key light. So that's what's going on. But that's my life. So now I can start answering guys' questions. But yeah, if you see all this stuff in the back, these are all collector's editions. You will see them when I start editing the video, which I probably won't be able to do till tomorrow after I get back at home around 6. So that's what's been going on. So let me see how you guys are doing, because now I can start answering guys' questions. Well, Super Gaming, you know everything, so that's how I am doing. Well, hello, Zach. How you doing? You got some Star Wars Black Series figures. Here's one of them, Obi-Wan Kenobi Attack of the Clones version. That's pretty awesome. By the way, speaking of Star Wars, did you guys happen to see that video that apparently is going around YouTube? Someone apparently took the Battle of Heroes from Star Wars Episode 3 and did it in Clone Wars style. Have you guys seen that? It's actually pretty cool. They made a couple errors and it looks a little not so great at times, but overall, I thought it actually looked surprisingly good. It actually filled in some of the blank spots that the film didn't go over, so I really appreciated that. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Yeah, Vamp, I'm sorry to hear that too. Caleb, you want to know my thoughts on Final Fantasy 12? I thought it was okay, but it was a game that I only beat once, and I didn't want to play it again. It was a sign of things to come. Like, I don't think it's bad. However, I will be honest, I thought Van was a girl the whole time. So I thought it was just like, oh, there's 4 girls and 2 guys on our team? That's interesting. And someone said, what are you talking about? Van's a guy. It's like, Van's not a guy, that's a girl. It's like, no, that's a guy. It's like, no, she's a girl. Van is a girl. It's like, dude, look it up. It's like, oh my God, you're telling me this whole time I've been calling Van a she for like a year? That was awkward. Like, I couldn't tell if Van was, I literally thought that was a woman. Just a very masculine woman. Like, their characters like that, so that was awkward. But overall, I thought it was okay. "2024 just started and bullshit is already hitting you hard." Yeah. Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Hopefully it gets better. Do I have a favorite Harry Potter game? Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. Easily the best like Harry Potter style game. Easily, no question. When it came to Mass Effect, I bet you liked Miranda's romance, but I still wonder why Miranda had 6 pillows in her bed. I will say this. Yes, Miranda was my love interest with Male Shepherd the first time I played Mass Effect, because the first Mass Effect game I ever played was Mass Effect 2. So yes, Miranda was my love interest the first time I played Mass Effect, and I continued that in Mass Effect 3. Liara was my love interest for Fem Shepard in Mass Effects 2 and 3. But then when I got to play 1, I did an entire playthrough from 1, 2, and 3 as Male Shepherd, and I picked Liara as my main love interest. So my second playthrough of those games, I picked Liara. So overall, Liara's my number 1 love interest. Yeah. Would you do live stream gaming again? Yes. No. That's the thing. I want to start doing that again. But the anniversary of the channel isn't until January 16th. And after that, I want to start going back and live streaming on Twitch again and make it so that it's scheduled 3 times a day, dedicating at least an hour and a half. That is absolutely incoming. In fact, after this stream, I was actually going to post either a community tab or a video, hopefully a video, just kind of asking what changes you guys want to see for 2024. Because in terms of game reviews wise, it's going to be a little bit... And God, and the sun's almost already down, so lighting. So thank God I got this, and maybe I'll turn that light on if it gets bad enough, or maybe I'll just turn this one off, and maybe that'll improve lighting, because now I have I technically have 3 screens. Like, let me see what that does. Okay, that brightens things up, so maybe I'll leave it like that. So that's good. So this is good. Okay, so yes, I definitely want to do that. I want to make some changes because last year, in terms of channel growth, was really, really lacking, so I need to make the proper changes in order to get the channel growing because I absolutely want to hit 90,000 subscribers this year, possibly for my lucky, make up for last year, and hopefully hit 100K. I really feel like if we make the right changes, if we promote a little bit, maybe get the right content, we can start having the channel grow and start getting more views because I feel like the algorithm is somehow working against me, and I really need to try to do my best. I'm even thinking about trying to collaborate with other YouTubers, which is something I haven't done in a long time, but I think that will help. So yes, I definitely will start doing Twitch streaming again. It'll probably happen after the anniversary of the channel on the 16th, and I will be sure to post a schedule. And it'll probably be when I do live streams on like this. Chances are I'm gonna do this live stream and then I'm gonna immediately jump on Twitch. So I think that's how it's gonna go. But I'm gonna have to work things out. But I will be talking about this again. But again, if you guys have any ideas for changes or types of videos you think I should add to the channel, I will be sure to leave a video or a community chat so I can organize all of your guys' ideas there. So yes, that is coming. Let's see. It's been a long while since I've watched you, and I'm glad you're still doing this. Oh, thank you, Dr. Hino. It actually has been a while since I've seen you. What have you been up to? I will say this. I have been getting a bunch of people watching the Versus series lately, getting a lot of comments. So that's been kind of piquing my interest just a little bit. So I'm glad you're still here. Have you heard of the first ever version of Mickey Mouse is public domain now, and they're already making horror movies? Yeah, I've seen that. I think they did something like that with Winnie the Pooh and his friends. I saw that. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. Void, hey Brian, if you were a gym leader, Elite Four member, what type of would I specialize in? Ooh, well, that's a good one. If I was a gym leader, honestly, this might sound tacky, but what I would specialize in is legendaries. I know a few times there's been gym leaders in the show, not in the game, that actually had a legendary as a Pokemon. So what I would specialize in is a team of pure legendaries. I think only one trainer has done something like that. I forget his name. But he beat the crap out of Ash, and he had like Darkrai and Latios. And I think we never got to see the rest of his team, but it was rumored he had a whole team of legendaries. So that's how I would build my gym. I would have 3 Pokemon, typically legendaries. That's what I would specialize in. My God, I'm going to go through my water so quickly. You finished Persona 4 Golden, and I can definitely see why a lot of people have it as his favorite. Oh, yeah. I still got to get through playing that game, but yeah, it's a great game. I used to think Sora was a girl at first. Really? That's an interesting one. I never would have thought that. Happy New Year. Thank you, Mel. How you doing? So you think Peter's anti-venom suit in Spider-Man 2 could cure Wesker of his powers? Probably not. If anything, that would help Wesker. Dude, you give him the symbiote suit with his already enhanced powers? Dude, Wesker would be even more dangerous. Oof, I would stay away from that. In fact, hopefully another and continue the COVID-free year. Oh, okay, that's good. My doctor told me I didn't really need a COVID shot, but personally, I actually haven't heard of anyone I know getting COVID. So I did get my flu shots, but yeah, hopefully COVID's run its course for a while. You would like to see me stream Metal Gear Solid 3? You know what? I might leave that to a vote, because now that we have it on PlayStation 5, we can actually stream it directly from the PlayStation 5, and I actually haven't played that in a very long time, so maybe that'll be the first stream. I'm going to put that up to a vote as soon as I set up how we're gonna do Twitch streams. But yeah, that would be something I'd love to do. Did Order 66 from Star Wars make sense for you? Yeah, it made sense. They introduced a kill code to wipe out all the Jedi when they weren't expecting it. So, yeah, that made sense to me. Why wouldn't it? You got Dead Space last week. Any tips? Don't get comfortable. If there's one thing I can say that Dead Space, the remake of one, did over the first one is that even if you go through an area that you know you cleared enemies of, always stay on your toes. That is one thing that I really appreciate. Is I would always backtrack and go through certain areas that I know I killed all the enemies, and there'll be like a random 1 or 2 enemies. So it always meant you need to stay on your toes. So no matter where you go, no matter how much you think you cleared something out, always be ready. Because you never know when something's gonna pop out. Like that was consistent from the beginning of the game to the end. Do I play sports? No, I do not, but I do work out. So would Miranda be considered a clone given that most of her DNA was based off of... No, I wouldn't say clone. I would say she may have been genetically engineered and modified, but I wouldn't say that's a clone. That would be like, I wouldn't say she's clone. Genetically engineered, yes. Clone, no. You listen to the new DMC song? Yeah, I heard it, but I just think it's weird that they want to make this sort of mobile game. And instead of just announcing a Devil May Cry 6, like, it's been long enough. Like, even if it doesn't come out, like, in a year or two, just announce that you're doing another true Devil May Cry game and have it focus on Nero. Like, give us that. Like, I don't want to see these little side mobile games. What was my least favorite gift that I got for my birthday or Christmas? What was my least favorite for a Christmas or birthday? That's hard to say. Maybe like a Christmas card from someone I didn't like. I think that's about it. Yeah, Christmas card from someone I didn't like. You're doing good, Dr. Hino. You have a question. What would be... Well, I'll be honest. I think Death Battle already covered that. What a Devil May Cry Bayonetta versus would be like. I think they covered that. I don't have any objections to anything they said. I think they got their bases pretty covered. Vampe wants to know, with the JRPG advice you gave me last week, I made it my mission to beat Chrono Trigger. Great. That is a classic. Tell me how it is when you finish it, because that is definitely one of the earlier JRPGs I loved playing as a kid. I would love for them to do what they did with Live Alive and like update the visuals but keep the gameplay the same. Maybe even add some voiceovers. Like, I absolutely would love to see them do that. Mea Boom wants to know, if you were to be in a play in theater, what play would you want to be in? Which character would I want to play as? A play of a movie. I don't know, maybe a play of The Wizard of Oz, and I'll play the Tin Man, I guess, because sometimes I feel like I need a heart. Favorite high school memory? Ooh. Oh my gosh, so many of them. I would say one of my favorite high school memories that I ever... I don't know if it was mean. Okay, here's what happened. So, I used to hang out with this group of guys, and we were kind of nerds. And I had 2 friends. One was named Ricky, one was Calvin. Calvin was he was taller than me. He looked like Yao Ming, and Ricky was a bigger guy, a little heavy set, but cool guy. And me and Ricky were always kind of curious about why Calvin was so shy, because we never saw him get angry. And then Ricky one day called me and says, "Brian, I dare you to slap Calvin. Let's see if he gets angry." Because we'd never seen him angry. He was always just kind of so shy and just kind of just awkward. So literally, "You really want me to do it?" I said, "Yeah, Brian, go to it." So I walked up and I literally just slapped him. And Calvin got pissed at me. Like, it looked like he was gonna beat the shit. I was like, "Wait, sorry." It's like, "Ricky dared me to do it." It's like, "Dude," and he says, "Don't ever do that again." It's like, okay, Ricky. Apparently, Calvin can get pretty pissed off. Maybe that was wrong to do, but it was interesting seeing Just how quickly he turned. How quickly he turned. That was a moment. There were like other positive moments, but like that's the one that sticks out to me the most. That was awkward, but yeah, we remained friends all throughout high school. But yeah, that's when we were all freshmen. So don't don't slap. So when Charlie Murphy, you don't slap a man. Like he was right. You don't do that. Well, we were teenagers at the time, so yeah. Thoughts on LeBron James? I think he's a good basketball player. Not my favorite. Not really a big fan of his, but you know he's a good basketball player. How often do I write in my journal, if you don't mind me asking? Believe it or not, speaking of that, I carry my journal with me everywhere I go. And this is volume 6. I just finished volume 6, and this spans from July 25th, 2021 at 8 p.m. to December 31st, 2023 at 7 p.m. So this is volume 6. And here is the start of volume 7. Yeah, volume 7. And my sibling actually bought me another journal afterwards, which is going to be volume 8. I try to write in it either once a week or 2 times a week, depending on what's going on. If I'm on a trip or something, I'll typically write like maybe 3 times a week. But yeah, I make sure to at least put in an entry once or twice a week. Have I played Detroit Become Human? It's a good game. Oh, it's a great game. I've streamed that before. That might be another game I want to stream on Twitch again. But yeah, I actually have a movie poster of that. Maybe one day, maybe when I move, I'll post it. But yeah, I have a movie style post for Detroit Become Human. It's really cool. Let's see. Which game do I miss playing on PC late 90s, early 2000s? Actually, there is a game, but I actually recently reinstalled it on my PC like last year. Like I have it on my desktop. Some of you guys may not know what it is. Maybe you might want to look up like a video of it. But it's called Warzone 2100. It's kind of like a tank in real time strategy war game. It came out when I was a kid, and I played it on my dad's old PC, and it came out in that period. It was definitely maybe late 90s, early 2000s. Loved playing it. I recently re-downloaded it. Had a chance to play it a little bit, maybe last month. I also have picked up Total War Shogun, and I just haven't had a lot of time to play that. But I haven't installed it on my PC. But I'm thinking maybe I'll install it on my laptop. But yeah, that's what I would say. When was the last time you ever went out with a girl? If you're talking about hanging out with a girl intimately, I would say last year. If you're talking about go out on a date, it would be maybe 12, 13 years ago with my first and only girlfriend, which I tried dating her for like 5 years throughout high school and maybe the first year of college. And when we finally started dating, our relationship only lasted a month and she ghosted me. And then I thought she was dead for several years. And then maybe 3 years ago, she reappeared. And I wasn't interested into because that girl caused me a lot of depression. I really thought she had died because it didn't make sense. Like, I didn't understand the term of ghosting. So I really thought she died because I was like, after everything I'd done for her, like, I was really naive. But then again, I was a young 21-year-old when that happened. So yeah, that was crazy. So, what would you want Obi-Wan Kenobi on? So, would you want Obi-Wan Kenobi on your squad in Mass Effect game if you had a choice? I mean, anyone? Yeah, sure. I don't. Why wouldn't you want Obi-Wan Kenobi? I think he's a good team player. I wouldn't mind. You could always use a good Jedi on your team. Do you blame pro wrestling for the Chris Benoit incident? there's a lot of stories about that. You could say that, he suffered brain damage and that changed his mood, or maybe he was on drugs. I think if it was brain related, it could have played a part. I don't think it was entirely wrestling's part. Maybe he just snapped. Like, heck, sometimes that happens. People just snap and do horrible things. But do I think that pro wrestling may have contributed something to it? Then in that case, yes, I do believe that. But I think there were several elements that led to that. Do you have a favorite Jim Carrey movie? Oh, God, there's so many of them. Off the top of my head, I would say probably The Grinch. I just watched that recently around Christmas time. Again, multiple times. Like, I literally watched it like 3 times in a row back to back in one day. That might be... because that's like one of my favorite Christmas films of all time. So, yeah. I mean, there's Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, The Mask, The Truman Show. I wasn't really a big fan of more of his more drama films. Yes Man, Mr. Popper's Penguins, which I read as a kid, so stuff like that. If you don't mind me asking, how is your relationship with your roommates? Well, my roommates are my siblings, so it's in an okay place right now, but we've been living together for like the past 5-6 years, and I just feel like I'm ready to move out on my own. So that's why with this upcoming move, I'm going to be living with someone else other than them for the first time in like 5 or 6 years. Like, I think I'm ready. Like, I was living with them. I lived with them here at the last apartment before that, and then at the last apartment before that for like 3 years, and then before that I was living in a house with everybody, including my mom. So, yeah, I would say living with my sisters it's had its up and down moments, but I'm at the point where, I'm 33 years old. My older sibling is 40. My younger sibling is 28. We gotta separate. It's been 7 years since Dad passed. Here's the crazy part, especially with our ages. My sister is as old as my mother was when I was born. I'm as old as my father was when my older sister was born. And my youngest sister is as old as my mom was when my older sister was born. So this particular age that we are all in is a bit weird. It's like we are all the same age at different point of our parents' lives when we were born, and yet we are all living together. And I feel like someone's got to leave. Someone has to venture out. And I feel it's going to be me because my 2 sisters are very, very close. My brother is about to have a baby that's coming in February. So I'm about to be an uncle. And I feel like that's kind of the little bit of spark I need to kind of start venturing out. But I'm really excited for that. But yeah. Thoughts on the actor of Denzel Washington? He's easily probably one of the top 5 best actors overall I've ever watched. Easily. I wouldn't quite put him up there with someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, who I personally think is the greatest actor we've ever seen, or I've ever seen, but he's easily top 5. I don't think he's ever made a bad movie. Any movie I've seen him in, it's either been okay, good, or phenomenal. But as far as I can call, he's never been in a bad film, personally. You made a Secrets of Mana remake. They made a Secrets of Mana remake. They didn't change much gameplay. I heard it wasn't good. Really? I didn't hear about that. I'll have to look up for that. So, what would your Shepard do if you had a choice of Star Killer? Wait, what? What would you... Wait, okay. I hate these type of questions where I have to slow down how I'm talking in order to try to understand the question. So, what would you do... What would your Shepard do if you had the choice Star Killer had with Vader... kill him or take him alive? So you're asking me, would Shepard kill Vader or take him alive? Probably try to take him alive and interrogate him. That wouldn't be much good because, Vader could take an insane amount of torture, but I think that's what Shepard would do. Where did you get that hat? You're new here. Oh, this hat. Oh, this is This is a World Series Oh, this is a World Series 2018 World Championship hat. Yeah, for the Boston Red Sox. I'm a Boston. Well, I wish I was a Boston guy, so that's who all my teams are. I'm a Patriot fan. I'm a Celtics fan, and I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm not a Boston Bruins fan. I don't watch hockey, but I will watch baseball, football, and basketball. So yeah, that's what it is. I have a hat of each of them. I even have a couple of jerseys for the Boston Red Sox, but I haven't worn this one in a while. I just grabbed some random hat while I was filming, and we got about 29 minutes left. Okay, that's good. We got plenty of time. But Obi-Wan's loyalty to the Jedi Code might be a problem, plus he would dislike Cerberus. Maybe, but sometimes in order to survive, you have to compromise, so, yeah. What's one question that annoys you every time someone asks it? Versus series questions, they annoy me. I'm done with the versus series. I'm ready to move on, so those typically are the questions that annoy me. I don't like thinking about versus questions anymore. Do you think Konami will release Volume 2 Metal Gear Solid Master Collection? Part of me thinks that they will. And somehow they're going to have to figure out a way to get Metal Gear Solid 4 off the PlayStation 3. Because so much of that game was tied to the PlayStation 3 and its internal systems. Like the axis and the vibrating. And a lot of the dialogue is PlayStation 3 specific. That's why it's been so hard. That's why every time they've done one of these type of releases, it's not included Metal Gear Solid 4. But Metal Gear Solid 4 is technically the end of your franchise. So I think they will do it. I'm just curious if it'll have Metal Gear Solid 4 on it. I think if they did do it, it would have a lot of the extra games that weren't in the primary master volume. But again, I think that's going to be really, really difficult. Favorite Schwarzenegger and Stallone film? Favorite Schwarzenegger film is Terminator 2. Favorite Stallone film, I want to say either Rambo 2, Rocky 4, or Daylight, which I'm sure none of you remember. Who annoys me most, Chris or Leon? What kind of question is that? Neither of them are annoying. They're both cool. And what's up, Winter Ghost? Welcome to the stream. The Cable Guy is an underrated Jim Carrey film. Yes, I agree that it is. Which sickness do you hate more catching the most? I think I hate getting a cold the most. I can't remember the last time I got the flu. I don't think I've ever had COVID. But I do know when I get a cold, it sucks. Fever, I can deal with. Cold, they won't let me come to work. Hey, what's up, Jackie Boy? How are you doing? What's one popular game franchise that you've never played before but would like to give it a try at some point? A popular franchise? Maybe Forza. Maybe. But that's very unlikely because it's Xbox. I don't know, just to see what the opposite is. But then again, I'm not really a fan of Gran Turismo either, but it's just kind of one of those curious ones. Maybe Half-Life. Because, like, Half-Life 2 is, like, talked about a lot, but, like, I've never actually played Half-Life. So, maybe that. Hey, what's up, fan of Sinners? Welcome to the stream. Thoughts on the Netflix Avatar? What do you mean? Were they releasing like an Avatar movie for Netflix? I don't know. Like the logo, I mean, it's fine. You look young for 33. Really? You know, I get that a lot sometimes. I don't. Yeah, that's weird. I don't look 33. Like, I've seen pictures of my dad when he was my age, and I would think I still look like I'm in my at least mid to late 20s, which is a good thing. But if you look at my brother, he's like a year younger than me, and yeah, he definitely looks like he's in his 30s. so yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I like maybe I got good genes or something. How many times have I moved in recent years? I missed the house. The house I lived in when I grew up. When my dad was alive. I missed that house. And I did like the house we moved in after he passed. But I have moved, let's see, since Dad passed, I went to the house, an apartment for 3 years, an apartment for 1 year, the apartment I was in last year, and then here. So since my dad has passed, he passed away 7 years ago. I have moved 5 times. That is way too many times in a short amount of time. I would very much like to stay in one spot for several years, and stay there. Like, I don't even get to know my neighbors because it's like, well, what's the point? You're not even going to be there next year, and it's going to be the same year. I'm going to have to move again, and I just hate that. In the next Devil May Cry game, do you believe that Nero will hold some I'm feeling towards Virgil and he'll sacrifice innocent people? No, I don't think Nero's going to do that. It'll just be some generic demon threat or something. Maybe Mundus will make a return. Like, hey, if Virgil can come back, maybe Mundus will make a return, and then Nero will deal with that. That's what I see happening. Better movie, Hoosters or Remember the Titans? Caleb, I don't know what that first film is, so I would go with Remember the Titans as a better film. Have I ever tried woodworking? No, I don't think I've ever tried woodworking. That does sound like something I might want to try one day, maybe. Would you have a T-800B, a companion like a Terminator 2? As fun as that would be, I'm just not sure what I would do with a Terminator, though, to be fair. I mean, I have this giant 6-foot guy following me around, and that's a little bit weird. Like, I think having a Terminator as a friend would be cool in the short time, but, like, after 10 years, I mean, like, I think I couldn't get used to that. The other thing about Leon that annoys you is that he can't get over Ada, but hey, man, right. I'm not really sure what that's about, to be fair. I gotta be honest. Like, the whole Leon-Ada relationship is very unusual. Like, maybe Leon likes Ada, but, like, Ada may like Leon, but she teases, and she's... Like, a lot of people don't remember this. Ada's a lot older than Leon, so it's a little weird for me. And I'm almost out of water. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. What's one thing that prevents you from giving Marvel Spider-Man a 10 out of 10? I think it's the fact that a lot of its mechanics feel like they're taking too much from Arkham Asylum. I think that's the only thing that holds it back. Other than that, it was a fantastic game. Best Spider-Man game I've ever played, by far. But I felt like there's so many games that took a lot of elements from Arkham Asylum that it's hard. So that was perhaps a flaw that it was always going to be there. But other than that, it was a fantastic game. And I do prefer the old face. I did not like what they did with the new face, to be fair. What do I think of MK1's story? I did not like how Sub-Zero was a villain. You've always seen him as being a good guy since... Well, the first Sub-Zero was bad. So, that's almost incorrect to think that you've always seen him as a good guy, because... You're thinking about the second Sub-Zero. You're thinking about Kuai Liang. He was the good Sub-Zero, and he has become Scorpion. Bi-Han was always kind of evil. So for him to stay evil is kind of consistent. But I personally, I did like the story. I generally did like it. I thought it had a lot of depth, a lot of great moments, and I'm still playing it to this day. You know what? When I'm Twitch streaming, if any of you guys have Mortal Kombat 1, I would love to challenge you guys. Like, I've been very hesitant to play online, because I'm trying to at least get really good with 3 characters. I think I'm good with 2 right now. I'm really good with Johnny Cage. I'm good with Scorpion. I want to get a 3rd character to be really good before I venture onto playing people online. I think I've dabbled in it a couple of bit, and I've won a couple rounds, but like, I kind of want to stay off there but I would prefer to play with you guys if you guys have the game. Thoughts on the movie Fields of Dreams with Kevin Costner? I don't think I've seen that film. I think that's the baseball one, but I don't think I've seen that one. Winter Ghost, at what point do you think Call of Duty fell off? For me personally, I stopped really being interested in Call of Duty by Advanced Warfare. I think the last Call of Duty game I bought was Black Ops 2. I do know that... No, I take that back. It wasn't Black Ops 2. It was World War II. There were a few ones, but I think my big interest in the franchise ended at that point. But personally, I think it fell off maybe Advanced Warfare. I mean, I dabbled in a few Call of Duty games, but there weren't any that I thought were like really amazing. Outside of perhaps maybe the remake of Modern Warfare 2, of Modern Warfare 1. That one was good. So you think Spider-Man Peter Parker would annoy everyone on normally? Like, yeah, I think he would be annoying, to be fair. Favorite hairstyle? I gotta be honest, I don't really have one. Rocket R Studios wants to know, how was my Christmas? My Christmas was fine. It was small, and we exchanged gifts. My mom's gifts actually just arrived today, so I gotta make sure she gets them. But yeah, it was okay. Do you, G-Law wants to know, do I like Green Day or Blink 182? Neither of them. I'm not a fan of either of them. Do I like System of a Down? No, I do not. How is my health doing? Well, that's a good question. You know what? I actually haven't done my blood reading today. So, that's a good... I don't know, that was a good time as ever. But overall, I'm still going to the gym multiple times in a day. I'm eating a little bit healthier. I'm still taking my blood pressure medication. And now it's going. So let's see what happens. What are my thoughts on the claim that Batman is not a superhero? He's not a superhero in the traditional sense that he has powers, but I would say he is super in terms of things he can deal with. He has proven that he can deal with supernatural threats, and his reputation is definitely that of any superhero with powers. Holy shit, that's not bad. Okay, I'm actually doing really, really good. Blood pressure is 117/87 with a pulse of 93. So I would say that's actually really, really good. Usually it's in like the 120s or 130s, but yeah, for that, that's actually not bad. So we definitely got it down. That's good. So yeah, I would say my health is doing pretty good, but heck, we gotta keep it going. Does the Venom suit make you feed like on your demons? I don't know. I think it just brings a side of your personality out that you don't usually show. Vamp A, Ada has done Leon dirty so many times. Yes, I agree, which is why that's why I find the Ada Leon dynamic very confusing. That's not really toxic, but just like I don't quite understand it. If you were in Raccoon City when the virus hit, where would you go and what would you do? I would go into a very tall building. Very tall. I would try to get out with a helicopter, try to signal. I think going to a tall building, barricading maybe a top floor, and keep them out as best I could. I would stay off the streets as much as I could. That's what I would do. Or if I had like a I don't know, I would try to like fly out. Like maybe if I had like a parachute or a paragliding suit or something, maybe fly out. But yeah, I would definitely try to get as high as I could. Try to signal a way out. Or try to parachute out or something like that. That would be my plan. Would you compare Vladimir Putin to General Shepard from Modern Warfare 2? No. No. One's an actual person and one's a fictional character, so no. You prefer Kuai Liang or Sub-Zero? I like Sub-Zero as a good guy. That's fine. You know, that's understandable. What do I miss about the 90s? I miss my childhood, the 90s. I wouldn't miss cell phones. I wish, I like how simple things were. It just seems as I get older, the world gets a lot more complicated and much more confusing. We get all these crazy ideas that make no sense and just make the world worse. Do I think Mortal Kombat vs. DC deserves all the hate it gets? I don't think it deserves hate, but to be fair, I just think the idea was always destined to fail. Because adding the DC element, you knew they were never going to go hard M with DC characters. That was never going to happen. So, I think because DC is a bigger property, the Mortal Kombat element was always going to be watered down. I don't think they could have convinced Warner Brothers to let these DC characters go all killer. They could, because we have seen examples of it in the comic books, but I just don't think they would have. And they would have tried to appeal to a much wider audience, but that's just not what Mortal Kombat's about. So honestly, I don't think it deserves the hate, but I just think it was a very, very watered down Mortal Kombat game. What is my favorite version of the Black Symbiote suit? I think my favorite would have to be the one that's in the Shattered Dimensions game. That's the one I like the most. Looks like ink. What? Do we need a Resident Evil 5 remake? I would prefer we don't. I think it's coming. Preferably, I hope they do Code Veronica first. But if they do remake 5, keep the co-op element. That has to stay in there. And how much time we got? We got 14 more minutes. Okay, we got time. Do you use the Sam Raimi suit? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't play Spider-Man 2. I quit playing that, but like the primary suit that I still have saved for my Spider-Man 1 Marvel game, yeah, it is the Sam Raimi suit. Absolutely. Venom or Carnage? Definitely Venom. If they re-release Resident Evil 5 remake, I think they might keep it online co-op and get rid of the split screen. They might do that, but I wouldn't want them to do that because I don't like co-op games that you can't play locally with friends. Like if your friend comes over, I don't like the idea that you have to buy 2 copies of the game in order to play co-op. It should be easy to just have a friend come over and play a game with you. It would be like doing that with Mortal Kombat. That would make no sense. Like you can't play co-op locally with your friends on one game. You have to buy 2 copies of the game. That is a bad practice. But I have seen some games do that. What are the issues with the first 2 Venom movies with Tom Hardy? I don't really have any problems with the first film. I liked it the way it was. I think the problem is that with the second one, it felt too much like a comedy. And that's when it was starting to go down. Like, I really hope it takes a much more serious route in the next film. But, like, I think they need to try to keep that serious tone. Because throwing Carnage in, like, I thought it was going to be, like, a lot more brutal. But, like, it was really, really toned down. Like, and Carnage is, like, an even scarier version of Venom's. And I don't think they went that far with Carnage, to be fair. Have I ever played Ninja Gaiden games? No, I have not. How much do I enjoy YouTube now compared to back when I first started? Oh, I enjoy it a lot more now than I did when I started. Because heck, I have all you guys. Like, it was a real struggle back in those days. But heck, shit, missed the hole. And you know, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, buddy, but I never liked Liu Kang. Maybe because he kicked Sub-Zero's ass in the movie. Oh my god, that was great. He beat him with a bucket of water. That is so funny. I love that. If you guys have played Invasion, Sub-Zero is like the final ultimate boss, and that's how you kill Sub-Zero. You beat him with a bucket of water. I love how they brought that back in the game. I thought that was great. So you think Miranda Lawson would not be good with teaching someone? No, I think she could teach something. The question is, what do you want to teach? I think it just depends. I think she'd be fine. We are getting CVMA. What's that? Believe it or not, MK vs. DC was actually the first Mortal Kombat game you've ever played, and you thought it was good. And I think it's fine. I just think it's just like if you're expecting like the intensity of violence that we've known Mortal Kombat to be, it's just a very, very seriously toned down Mortal Kombat game. And that's the problem. I mean, mechanics wise, it's fine. But but Mortal Kombat's known for its violence. And it is very, very toned down. Was the original Scorpion a villain in Mortal Kombat? I thought he was a villain in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. If you're going by the movie, he was a villain, but I don't think he was a villain. I think he was trying to get Sub-Zero. I think that was the case. I think he was kind of neutral. I don't think Scorpion's ever been a direct villain in any of the games outside of when he was directly under the control of Quan Chi. But he was more like an anti-hero, or just someone who was neutral. Have I ever heard of Final Fantasy VII House? Do not do research. Okay, I won't. No, I have not. I thought it was confirmed they're doing a Code Veronica first. I don't know. They should have. Personally, I would have preferred they'd done a Code Veronica first before they touched 4. But then again, I wish they'd never touched 4 to begin with. Does keeping busy with things help keep my mental health? Yes, it does. Although it's working on stuff like this helps me. Playing games helps me. But while I'm at work, I'll be honest, I'm working 2 jobs I don't like. I do not like my arcade job because it's a job of 2 extremes. Because either no one shows up and there's nothing to do, or there's too many people to keep track of, and it's a nightmare. And for like the longest time, I'm the first arcade attendant that they've hired there, and it's only been recently they hired a second attendant that actually watches the time I'm not there. But heck, it gets really chaotic dealing with teenagers and kids that just don't know how to behave or weren't raised properly. And then at the bowling job, the work itself isn't fun, but what has kept me coming back is the guys, the other mechanics. Though I work with a great group of guys that keep me coming back. Like, that's the high point of my day. It's just getting to talk to them every day. Like, the work itself can be, it keeps you kind of productive, but yeah. Do you think a 4th Dark Knight? No, would not. You probably would have killed the franchise. We didn't need a 3rd. We didn't need a 4th one. 3 was just fine. I liked how it ended. I mean, teaching someone how to use biotics. Okay, yeah, if you want Miranda to teach someone how to use biotics, then yes, she'd be a great teacher for that. Absolutely. Heck, if Jack could teach kids to use biotics, Miranda could do just as good of a job. Have you heard that there was a poll from Mortal Kombat to get either Shaolin Monks 2 or a character patch? Majority voted for the patch. I can understand that. I think Shaolin Monks was an interesting experiment, but I don't think you need to do a second one. Who did Mortal Kombat better, Midway or NetherRealm? Personally, I do think comparing, and that's tough. I think NetherRealm is a little bit better. I have found myself playing Mortal Kombat more recently than I did when I was younger. But it may be just because I'm older and I don't need my parents' permission to play them. Is Bihan pure evil? I don't think he's pure evil. I just think he's very ambitious. And that ambition kind of puts him at odds with other people. Alright, we got 7 more minutes. Do I still go to the video game bar? Absolutely. I go either every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. Unfortunately, it may go back to just every other Wednesday because we lost the other mechanic. I now work Wednesdays from 10 to 2 in the morning, which is not fun. So I've lost my nights on Wednesday, which I would typically spend at the gaming bar. I desperately need a wingman. There's some girls here I'd like to talk to, but I need a wingman or something. Wait a minute, did I say that out loud? Forget you heard that. Forget you heard it. You didn't hear anything. You didn't hear anything. I did not say that. If you were Batman, would you feel like Gotham is worth saving? No. No, I would. No, I'll be honest. I think Batman's a better hero, but if I had to pick, I would prefer to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man would be a lot more fun than Batman. What do I think was Dark Knight Rises' biggest flaw? And it's hard to say, because I do think it's the weakest of the 3 films, but it's still a great film. And financially, it was the most successful Batman film. I think maybe they didn't go far enough with Bane, or maybe they didn't do enough with Talia, something like that. Like, there were some elements. I think the thing that annoys me is the idea that Batman would have stayed away for that long. Maybe that element's a little bit annoying. And that he could just put his suit on and think he could just kind of go back in like one night. Maybe that part annoys me a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to pick up girls. Don't be ashamed. You agree that Cerberus was ruthless for its own good? I think it was. I think it was really ambitious. I think they were willing to do a lot of dirty things for the sake of humanity without realizing that by doing that, they were losing their own humanity. Alright, how much time we got? Alright, we got 4 more minutes. If you've got like a few more questions left, and then we'll call it a day. But yeah, I'm glad I actually caught up all. I got all the questions. I don't think I'm getting pretty good at this. Let's see. Understood. Delivered. Understood. Are you concerned for the Wolverine game that Insomniac is making? Nope, I'm not. I know there was a leak. I know that there was some gameplay leaked. Accidentally saw 3 seconds of what it would look like, but I immediately looked away. It's like, I don't want to look at it. But I didn't see enough to give me like a clear idea. But like that leak, like I'm staying away from that. I want to wait till they release it, because if they could get I think they could do, if they can do as good of a job of Spider-Man as they did, I cannot wait to see what they do with Wolverine. I think it's gonna be just as phenomenal, maybe even more, because Wolverine is my favorite X-Men. So, but he's a lot of people's X-Men. So, yeah, I want to see that. You bet Miranda would probably be strict on her students. Maybe not strict, but worst job I've ever had. It was a mechanic's job at my last arcade job. It was a place called Round One. And what ended up happening was I went in to be a mechanic for the bowling department. And it was kind of a mix-up. Like, they said they wanted a mechanic for the bowling section, and that's what I thought I was going in for, because I was already a bowling mechanic at my current job. So I just figured, okay, I'll just take the experience I have at this bowling location and just apply it elsewhere. When I actually got there and started doing the job, what they wanted me to do was be an arcade mechanic. And that, I didn't know anything about that. And it was frustrating, and I was only there for 3 months and I had to quit. Like, it was getting way too much, because it was one of those, this isn't the job I signed up for, but I'll give it a go just to see what happens. And after 3 months, I hated it and I wanted out, and I immediately quit. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Which, funny enough, the limited experience I got from that arcade job helped me get the arcade job I have now. So, though it was the worst job I've ever worked at, it was a semi-blessing in disguise, because had I not had that arcade experience, I probably would not have the arcade job I have now. Although, I will be quitting this arcade job in probably the next few months, because I'm ready to go back to just having one job, because working 2 jobs is taking way too much from the channel, and it's been way too stressful. Working 2 jobs for 2 years is long enough. Since John Wick 5 is confirmed, do you think that it will hurt the ending of the 4th film? I think it just depends on what they do with the 5th film and where they want to go. Have I seen The Boys? Yes, and I'm excited for the next season. Would you like to see a Resident Evil Mercenaries standalone game? Probably not, because I just don't think that's a solid idea. Should Insomniac make a Deadpool game? No, I don't think they need to. And there's already a Deadpool game that was really good. Have I ever been fired? No, I have not. Every job I've ever left, I quit. I quit my Walgreens job. I quit my picture people job that I had when I was in California. I quit my Round 1 job, and I've been at my current bowling job for almost 10 years. But no, I've never been fired. You've never played a Dead Space game before, but since they remake the first game, do you think it's possible they'll also remake the second game? I don't want them to. I do not want them to. If you can get your hands on an old copy of Dead Space 2, please do so, and please play it. It does not need a remake. If anything, I think the remake connects better to Dead Space 2 than the original did. Like, you could play the remake of 1 and go directly into 2, and it fits better than the first game. So, yeah, I don't want them to remake Dead Space 2. If anything, I want them to do a sequel to 3. I want them to continue the story, because the 3rd game left off on a cliffhanger. I hope that the success of Dead Space 1 may have inspired them to want to continue on the franchise, and I want them to do a Dead Space 4. Do not remake 2 or 3. So would Miranda teach more like Anakin or be more like Obi-Wan? I think he'd be more like Obi-Wan. I don't think Miranda's so radical like that. Do you ever see people you knew from high school while I'm out? Very, very rarely. Very few times. I think there's one guy I see at my arcade job that I know I went to high school with, but we weren't friends. But I recognized him. And with that, that is going to close this episode of the week of the People's Questions. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. With some luck, I will have my collector's edition video up by tomorrow past 6. And maybe I'll upload it the day after that. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty long video. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, if you guys have any ideas for future videos, and let me know also if there are ideas that you would like me to see added to the channel, because I really want to try to hit my subscriber goal this year, and I'm willing to make any kind of changes that I need to. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome, and I will see all of you guys next time.